All right, guys, so on the phone right now we have Naomi Grossman, huge fan and extremely happy and honored to have you here. Better known for her role of Pepper on American Horror Story Season 2. Naomi, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing great. For those of our viewers that don't know, can you give us a quick description about your character on AHS?
Well, Pepper is microcephalic, and people with this condition generally have the brain capacity of like basically a 3 or 4-year-old. So, you know, it's a form of retardation. They're typically very, petite. This particular character was actually modeled after Schlitzie, which was a real-life microcephalus in the 1930s. He starred in Todd Browning's movie Freak, which people may or may not know. Anyway, so that was really my job, to basically emulate Schlitzie.
So your character's makeup was very unique. How much of it was makeup, and did you actually shave your head?
Yes, I did. You can see it on YouTube, in fact. It's interesting. It's a lot of makeup. Basically, prosthetic nose, brow, ears, arms, and basically like big, thick silicone gloves that I wear. They had a fake eye lens for me, basically, which made my eye kind of go a funny direction. And then, of course, my head is me. That part was me. So, yeah, it was pretty intensive, basically like 2.5 to 3 hours in the makeup chair every day.
We originally met at Crypticon. How do you feel about the horror and Halloween community, and did you know that it was this big?
I had no idea before I did, American Horror Story. No, I did not know this underground, horror con world even existed. I had no idea. I've been acting for a while, and most of my friends are actors as well. But even my super duper, successful friends, they've never experienced this. Yeah, I mean, my comedian friends, they don't like get together and wander around like buying comedic tchotchkes in convention halls. Like, so this is like I said, I had no idea this existed. Pretty cool, though.
What was your most memorable Halloween as a child? And now that you're older, how do you celebrate Halloween?
Gosh, I don't know if I have a specific childhood Halloween. I mean, I get really into Halloween. I'm one of those, has multiple costumes throughout the day, because you can't commit to just one. Not just the actual Halloween day, but the entire weekend. I would say the Halloween that I spent at the Playboy Mansion was pretty memorable, as you can imagine.
Whoa.
Wow.
Do tell.
Yeah,
I was going to say, how much of that would you like to tell us?
One of my little, actor side jobs, I was a Spanish teacher. And actually, I was Bridget, Spanish teacher. Remember that show, The Girls Next Door?
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, basically, I used to go to the Playboy Mansion on a weekly basis and teach her Spanish.
Wow.
It's pretty random. I got to keep this PG, I know, but I do remember meeting a special someone in a UPS outfit in the grotto, and that's as much as I can say.
Oh. Oh, wow.
I know.
So everybody had fun doing that, the name game. That was going to be a question that I asked.
Oh, yeah, that was really fun. I mean, it was fun to watch. It was fun to do. I had this line in that scene that got cut because Ryan Murphy thought it felt too much like Glee. I was supposed to be, right towards the end, it goes to Pepper, and I say, too many rules in the name game. And kind of with my hands up, it's too confusing, because, it's, you take a B, to E, to D. I don't even remember all the rules, but there are a lot of rules.
I have a lot of subscribers that have asked questions, because I like to bring them into what we're doing. And Steven556478 asks, what would be the hardest part about your transition from Crazy Pepper to the more mature and intelligent Pepper in the middle of the show?
That was a Stain episode where, Pepper comes back from the aliens and reads Arden, the Riot Act. So that was sort of challenging, just switch gears like that. Believe it or not, the silly silly, crazy, wacky, singing, dancing Pepper comes very easily to me. The much more contained, cautious, calculated, still Pepper that I find much more of a challenge.
A subscriber by the name of CSRFTW1 asks, if she could choose for a whole American Horror Story season to take place during a specific time in American history, for instance, like the mid-1900s, late Civil War times, or even like medieval times, what time in history would you have the season set in? So if you could choose some time, where would you write the episode?
Gosh, that's a great question. I hadn't thought about it. I don't know. I'm not one of the writers. In fact, sometimes, when I read the script, I was like, where do these writers, where do they come up with this stuff? So I don't know. I'm not prepared for that question.
I did ask you this question at Crypticon because I like to kind of, dig in just a little bit and get a little bit more than maybe you've done in any other interview. So what is one question that you've never been asked in an interview that you might be willing to share with us?
I don't know. I've never just sat and thought, I wish someone would ask me this. I don't know. I mean, you're right. I do kind of tend to get the same questions. I almost need like a little placard that just says like, can't talk about season 4. Makeup took 2.5 to 3 hours. Yes, I shaved my head.
Frequently asked questions, just like on you at all times.
Definitely like those frequently asked ones. I'm like,
how about we do favorite color, favorite number?
Okay. Oh, there you go. Okay. Favorite color is absolutely pink. Hands down, I have a hot pink convertible. I've got pink walls in my house. I'm a little bit of a freaky, like a little girl. Like I say pink, and I have to have it. Favorite number? Maybe 3. Got 3 people in my family. Mom and Dad and me. I got comedies in 3s.
So you're the only child?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Lucky.
Oh, we have that in common then. I'm also an only child.
Oh, very nice. We got a bad rap, and I'm not buying it. I think we're, independent spirit. I think we're very special.
Since we're talking about growing up, Chanel St. Pierre said, growing up, did you ever dream that you would be an actress on such a wildly popular show?
Yes.
Really?
I did. Nothing but, actually. I've been a little bit of a broken record since I was a very little girl. All I ever wanted to do was act, and most specifically in television, actually. I mean, honestly, there was, nothing else I wanted, and that's what really, I struggled with that, because I really thought, God, I wish there was something else that I wanted, I want this, But there was really, when people ever ask me for, acting advice, my first, advice is always, make sure that this is what you want, because it's hard. I highly suggest, cultivating other skills and finding something else to do, because it's, if there's anything else that you love, you should do that first.
The Curly's Haunt asks, I've never watched American Horror Story. I'm 14, almost 15, but I love haunty shows. Do you recommend it to a kid my age?
Well, yes and no. I will say this. It's interesting. In South America, my fan base is young. Very, very young. I tweeted to the Argentinian American Horror Story fan club that I was going to be in Buenos Aires, and, if they wanted to, rendezvous. And sure enough, they did. We picked a spot and all, met, and, I mean, the median age was 14. So, there were, there were little kids, there were, kids on their way to college, but for the most part, I was, twice as old as anybody there to meet me. I don't know, as a 14-year-old, if I could have handled it. I do know it's a little sexy, too. So, then again, I'm not a parent. I mean, it's pretty sexy. It's, and actually, there's a lot of sex that you don't see. It's, I know of all sorts of crazy scenes that actually have been eliminated from that show. So, yeah, no, I think it's fine for a teenager, but then again, I don't have a teenager, and I might change my tune if I did.
Triv27 asks 2 questions. The first one we kind of already touched on. What was it like going through the makeup process to become Pepper? But his second question was, what was your reaction to the first time you saw yourself fully done up as Pepper?
I mean, it's shocking, because you can't believe it's you. You know, you got to kind of pinch yourself and go, no, that's so me.
Does it also help you get in the character? Because I know most of us that are watching are haunters, so we get dressed up in makeup and prosthetics and masks, and it actually, to me, it helps me get into whichever role I'm playing. Did you find that happening?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's just like, it's like you said, in comedy, when I put on a big wig, it like all of a sudden changes everything about me. Like I walk a little different, like maybe add an accent or whatever. I feel like that makeup, you know, especially like I said, since I've done my homework and watched Twisty on a loop, you know, all summer long, doing his thing, and then all of a sudden I look in the mirror and I look not unlike him, kind of makes me just turn into Twisty. Absolutely. Yeah. No, the makeup does a lot of the acting work, actually.
Jordan Winton asks how us as haunters can get a signed or autographed picture or something. Do you have a fan website or some place that people can go?
Well, the best is, of course, is to meet me at one of these cons, and I can give you a personalized one, you know. You can pick your own and meet me and all that. I, for the most part, just send them to my manager. If people send a self-addressed stamped vanilla envelope to her, she'll send a signed photo, no problem.
Excellent, excellent.
Yeah, so that address, it's just, you know, if you were to go to my IMDb and look up my management, it's all right there.
The last official question that I have for you is, did you ever expect your character as Pepper to be so popular? And I know you've answered this a lot before.
There was no way to know. I mean, like I said, I hadn't had really any commercial success other than with my theater stuff. You know, like I was definitely like on the map in terms of the, you know, LA comedy scene, in terms of my work with the Groundlings and my one-woman shows, which I take into, you know, Edinburgh and London and New York and blah, blah, blah. But as far as like mainstream commercial success, it had none. When they cast me in this role, I didn't know what it was. For all I knew, I was just like, you know, pinhead number 5. Like, for all I knew, there was like a whole band of us. I didn't know that I was the crazy one in the asylum. Or at least the crazy looking one. Why would they entrust this, like, crazy part on this, like, relatively, you know, unknown actor? Especially when there are so many major stars on the show. You know, I didn't know until that first day on set that I looked around and realized that I was the only Pepper. Then episode, 3, I think, that's when Pepper went pee and sort of disappeared for a while. Again, for all I knew, I'd done something egregious on set and, like, they'd replaced me. I didn't know.
Really? You didn't know?
Yes, I had no idea. I didn't know I was coming back. I didn't know I was coming back smart. I knew nothing. They told us nothing.
When Naomi and I first met at Crypticon, I'm ashamed to say that I hadn't seen the episodes. That's why it took so long to do the interview. So I went through and finally watched everything, and you're right. She got up to go to the bathroom, and she left. And I'm like, where is she?
It was all a surprise to have, you know, having my face made into, you know, gifts and these Pepper for President posters that started popping up all over Los Angeles. And, you know, somebody tweeted me a picture of my face tattooed on their leg. I mean, like, stuff like that, you just can't anticipate. Like, you know, for all I know, I was just like another, like, I was like background, basically. It's impossible to know that that's what's happening to you. But pretty awesome, pretty dreamy.
Naomi, I just want to say thank you so much for taking the time out of your schedule to sit and talk with us for a while. Hopefully everybody learned something new, because I know as an actor having the same old questions answered, I mean, even I've done like a frequently asked question thing like we were talking about. So Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.